Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Wednesday, the 21st of Rabi'ul Awwal 1446, 25th of September 2024. Hazrat Wala is saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned the person who looks after and protects 6 things, I will grant him honor. And then starts enumerating those things. The person who protects his tongue from evil talks, Allah Ta'ala will bless him with the honor of remembering him. The honor of remembering him. Now this is a very great ni'mat, to protect one's tongue from fuzul, from laghw, from khiyanat, from lies. Allah Ta'ala give us tawfiq. Just to say Allah once is such a great ni'mat. Today we have so much of time, and how we waste all of this time. One of the most difficult things is to look after this time, and there is no coming back and no qaza of this time. You know, when I was young, our Hazrat Wala is saying that there in the Dihat and in the village, you would find people would find a place, some place under the shade of a tree. They would get there and they would start with this chat talk of theirs, gupshup. And they would spend the entire day and hours on end just talking freely and uselessly, aimlessly. The person who turns his gaze away from everything else other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Allah will bless that gaze of his with his grand countenance. Allah will bless him so that he can look at him on the day of Qiyamah. Is that some ordinary thing? No, it's absolutely great. The person who protects his akhlaq when he is amongst people, then Allah Ta'ala will bless him with wisdom. Now, how the Buzurgan-e-Deen had this so much in their hearts and in their minds. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of protecting our hearts. Hazrat Haji Imdadullah, this was when he was in Makkah Mukarramah. He's not stretching out his legs, and someone says to him, Hazrat, relax, open up, stretch your legs. And he went on to say, Koi shakhs Malik ke samne pair pilate hai? Tell me, does someone stretch out his legs in front of his master? Allahu Akbar. This was the amount of istihzar and ever consciousness that their hearts and minds enjoyed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah is ever present. How can I even stretch my legs? The person, or jisne, the person who protects his heart, the person who protects his heart from looking at with love to the dunya, muhabbat dunya, for the love of the dunya, then Allah Ta'ala blesses him with a glance of his izzat. Allah looks at him with izzat. And a person who, by means of exercising patience, protects his nafs, then I will bless him with the grand fortune of staying away from sins. Now look at this dunya. Sayyidina Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala an used to say that Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala an came and out of this dunya in a beautiful manner. He protected himself from this dunya, and so was the case of Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala an. However, regarding and addressing himself, he would go on to say, however, Muawiyah was completely immersed, drowning in this dunya. On one occasion, some type of drink, sharbat, sweet drink, was presented to Sayyidina Ali radiallahu ta'ala an, rather on many occasions, but he kept on delaying it for one long year. Now, where are we from practicing on all these things? But at least let us listen to it. So much that we can feel ashamed that how far are we from that type of a reality. This kitab is an absolutely excellent kitab, referring to the Sahaif-e-Ma'rifat. So the person who is firm, then on the day of Qiyamah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will keep him firm as well, and he will become deserving of the reward from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Thereafter, Hazrat Wala then goes on to say, reading from the kitab, that the essence and the roots, the foundation of all forms of success is that आदमी अपने नफ्स पर हाकिम हो जाए. The person becomes in the true sense a ruler, the authority over his nafs, and he does not chase after this way and that way, fulfilling his every desire, base desire, animalistic desires. If he does that, he comes into the aman and into the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And together with that, he is always seeking the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless him with these qualities. And regarding the person who is drowning in fulfilling and making amal, practicing on these base desires of his, and he gets lost in all of that, where can he ever reach the secrets of reality? And honesty, truthfulness and reality will be taken away from his eyes. He will not be able to see it anymore. Allah Ta'ala protect us from that. Right. Now, continuing there in the kitab, but before we even go, Hazrat Wala is speaking about tazkiyah and tahliyah. One is annihilation or removal of all the evil, abhorrent characteristics from a person. You become clean and pure from all of that. And tahliyah is where a person would then decorate himself, embellish himself with all the good characteristics. Hazrat Maulana Mohammad Ahmad Saheb used to quote an incident about a person, saintly person, who was going to his home, and somebody came along swearing and being so vulgar at him. He did not reply in any way, continued walking. The person carried on with him and was vulgar with him until his doorstep. When he reached his doorstep, he said to the person, "Son, listen, this is my house and I'm about to then go in. If you have anything else to say, please say it so that I can now go in." Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Sahib's personality was just like that. So here we're speaking about the khasail, or the evil, abhorrent characteristics. Example sake, the love of this dunya, enmity, hatred, jealousy, pride, deception, miserliness, anger, looking down upon others, holier than thou attitude, lies, backbiting, slandering, greed, ostentation, and hopes of impermissible things, keeping your gaze on the faults of people, and not to present oneself to people with kindness and softness, to stay away from advisors, and to have a relationship with people in such a manner that you are always in greed with what they have, and eating in abundance as well. So when a person is like this here, that he just fills his stomach with everything, then where will his deeds ever be accepted? Where will his deeds ever be accepted? Thereafter, we go on to the Khasail Mahmuda, the good qualities which we should decorate ourselves with. It is good habits and things that we should, qualities, characteristics we should bring on ourselves, like that of tolerance, overlooking, modesty, and looking and searching for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah ke riza joy ko ढूंढ लेना, Allah Ta'ala ke riza joy, Allah Ta'ala ke riza ko ढूंढ लेना. We should look and be in the search and seeking the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, forgiving and overlooking, advising and taking advice, humility, love, bravery, generosity, justice, abstinence, piety, putting one's trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sincerity in our deeds, and honesty in our sayings. To such an extent that with the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he comes out of all evil characteristics completely, and he is now enjoying the good characteristics. Okay. Our Hazrat Wala is speaking about an incident that took place in the villages back in the days of Fatehpur. And the people recited the Shabina Tilawat of Quran in Salat the entire night. And the next morning some quarrel took place, due to which people took out their sticks and started bashing one another to such an extent that they injured and hurt one another, and there was a type of even blood that was shed. So Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to speak about this incident with much astonishment, saying, what type of Quran was listened to that night? What type of Quran was read that night? That you done all this ibadat, but there was no rectification of character whatsoever. Allah Ta'ala give us the fikr to rectify our akhlaq. Otherwise, Ramadans can come and go and nothing will be achieved. We need to rectify. We need to correct this akhlaq of ours. Look at how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave a khutbah before the arrival of Ramadan. قَدْ أَظَلَّكُمْ شَهْرٌ عَظِيمٌ, that has put its shadow over you this great month. Why? So that a person can make an effort and he can look after and honor this honorable guest. And he would go on to say that achieve something. do something. Ramadan is going, the days are going. Now he would say all of this because he had so much of yaqeen in it. And then he would say, go and see, go into the khanqa, listen, if people are sleeping, fine, good and well, not a problem. And if people are talking, if it is good, it's fine. But if it is useless talks and this and that, or something to do with the newspapers or any siyasi and political talk, tell them to go and sleep. Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Saheb used to speak about the strait of this Buzruk, that people would maybe anger him or this and that. At that time, he would restrain himself. And then, what would he do? He would say after that, Ya Allah, I was angry at this time. For your pleasure, I withheld and kept back myself. The reward of this, O Allah, let it go to my mother. Now look at this here, that they attached so much importance to akhlaq. Today, whatever we send is regarding salat and this and that. Their entire emphasis was towards that of akhlaq. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib would even send messages to his own children, to his daughters, telling them to look after, appreciate, and spend their time correctly in the holy month of Ramadan. Khoone dil khane ko, lakhte jigar, khoone dil peene ko, lakhte jigar khane ko, yahi ghiza milti hai jana teri diwane ko. So Allah Ta'ala also apne diwane bana le. Allah Ta'ala make us from those people who are so crazy and madly in love with Him. This tawajjuh and attention towards rectification of the nafs and akhlaq, etc., has become so less and so rare. Hazrat Wala then quotes couplets from Gulista. He says that if you just know this one couplet, it will be good enough for you, sufficient for you. The last part of it says that if you truly want to be a man of note, then ahsin ila man asa'a ilayk, be good to the one who wrongs you. Be good to the one who wrongs you. Allah Ta'ala bless us with His love, His muhabbat, His recognition. Allah Ta'ala bless us with the fuyuz and the barakat of the holy month of Ramadan. What is this Ramadan all about? It is so that you can get this taqwa, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Every day is a new day. Hundreds and thousands of Ramadans can come and go. However, if we don't appreciate it, then how will it be? Allah Ta'ala bless us with the fuyuz and the barakat of the siyam and the rozas as well. Thereafter, Hazrat Wala quotes the ibarat from the text there that he quoted earlier, that tamam sa'adaton ki asal ye hai कि आदमी अपने नफ्स पर हाकिम हो जाए. That the root, the basis, the foundation of all types of fortune is that a person in the true sense becomes the authority over his nafs. He becomes the ruler over his nafs. And he doesn't run around this way, that way, in fulfilling the desires of his nafs, the base desires, the animalistic desires of his nafs. Allah Ta'ala bless us with the fuyuz and the barakat of the Quran as well. Now what kitabs our Akabirin have written? You know, till today what kitabs are being written, and these kitabs come in front of me. I'm just laying down, I just go to rest, and some kitab will come and I will start reading that kitab. Quran, Kishan Azim, something like that, the name of the kitab goes. Allah Ta'ala accept and Allah Ta'ala protect us and keep us safe from this useless and futile talks. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.